I knew Chewy on Tuesday nights at 9:35.
Thursday. Stop acting like you ain't used to call me. Hey, Chewy, I'm coming down from Chapel Hill today. What's up? It's like 4 of my teammates with me. We good?
Yeah, so... Humble Brag Podcast, Ep.7. We are back.
We back, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And this time we got a special guest in the building.
Special.
I am Chewy 5 is in the building with us today. A Charlotte legend.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you on,
Yes,
my
sir.
boy.
Yes,
Glad to
sir.
be here, man.
Thanks for coming, bro.
Yes,
Nah,
sir.
man. What you guys are doing, like enhancing the black male mindset and showing something different, not just all ignorance.
Yeah.
I'm definitely all for it. So
Facts.
Over
Facts.
some ViVino.
I will say this too. It's the first time the band got back together, right?
Oh yeah. It's been a little
We've
bit.
been
Man.
traveling, you traveled, I traveled, you know, and we back though.
And now we had some substitutions. You
We
know.
got substitution. They did a great job, man. I love it.
Yeah, shout out to Vip, shout out to Jazz for the filling in for the guys.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. Y'all did a great job. Thank you.
Definitely.
So let's get into it, fellas. What we drinking on today?
Oh man, we switching it up today. Last week we had white wine, Pinot Grigio. Today we got Opaque. It's a Zinfadel, Paso Robles. I think this is a 2018. Zinfadel, really great, fruity, juicy. Also a little bit of spices and different oak notes and things like that. It's a good introductory wine, right?
Yeah,
so for people.
and I love red wine.
I was about to say, like, you said you love red wine.
Yeah, I only drink
about
red
that.
wine. Like
Yeah.
I cut hard liquor out my diet.
Facts.
Yeah, there you
Facts.
go.
Not only just for physical, but mental health.
Yeah.
Mental health. Like I became a big mental health advocate because of the things that I've been through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like being in the streets, being on radio,
Yeah.
being introduced into the entertainment industry is very easy to get lost. And,
Facts.
you know what I mean? Sometimes you get consumed in
with it.
You know, you look at people like YK Osiris.
Yeah,
you know what
bro,
I
I
mean?
saw
Like,
that.
That's tough.
I saw that
it's
today,
very
actually.
alarming because it's like, yo, he hit a level of success and he got consumed thinking that all these people are your friends. Exactly. It's like, yo, man, you always need to take care of home first.
I saw that this morning.
Like he hit a breaking point almost.
Prayers up to him too.
Yeah, definitely. And he's so young.
Yeah, he's
you know what I
young.
mean? Like a lot of people don't know. Like,
Like 19, 20, right?
no. He's like 24.
24.
I took him on like a high school tour.
Oh,
like
wow.
so I've been around him, and even when we did this show out in LA, he was there, and we got to talk, and you know what I mean. But it's so hard when that entertainment lifestyle sucks you in, and you're a bona fide star.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's different.
That's dope. All right, fellas, what we got? Smell test?
Gonna do a smell test, man.
We always start with a smell test.
That's cool with me. Look,
What you got? What you smell?
Look, he opened up his wine. That's how he do it.
That's what you gotta do.
You gotta open up your wine.
You got to,
What
man.
you smelling, Chewy?
Let me see.
Talk to us.
Smells good.
Hey.
Smelling some
I
chocolate.
might be back on my original.
Yeah.
What's your reason?
I smell wine.
I smell like deep cherry, a little bit of vanilla.
I definitely smell some cherry.
Yeah,
Cherries.
I smell cherry.
You smell cherry?
I like it.
Yeah.
Jammy
Tastes
too.
really
Real
All
jammy.
right, so I got it pulled up here actually, so we can actually see what it is. So, like we said, black cherries, vanilla. It's rated 4.0 on ViVino.
All right.
Make sure y'all get
So,
that ViVino out. Make
the
sure y'all get
ViVino
that
out.
ViVino out.
And so 4.0 cherries is from it's one of the top 3% wines in the world, so that's good.
Yeah.
So this bottle is how much? Let me ask you, how much you think this bottle is worth?
I'd say about $35.
Okay.
He was right on. He was right on.
Yeah,
He was right on.
$40 is the range I'm seeing. So that's crazy.
But we got it for a good deal from Costco.
Yeah, listen, Costco come with it now.
Man, listen, you want me to tell you something funny? I worked at Costco for close to 9 years.
Oh, word.
Really?
Word.
I used to put shopping carts and then I went up into stock, and then I was a cashier because they get paid the most.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, word. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So cashiers.
I worked at Costco too, but I was selling DirecTV.
He was the guy. What kind of TV? What kind of TV you watch?
Aggravated.
I didn't want to come your way.
It's worse than being on the corner asking for $1, bro. Like when people walk past, you know, I'm trying to like say anything to get their attention.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what we're doing? People with black shirts on today. They be like, you got a black shirt.
But you know what's so cool is that you understood how to network. You understood how to talk to people in a room where it may be cold. You know what I mean? So those life skills that you picked up on
very big
is gonna enhance you so much further. So
Man,
very
I'm
big.
telling you hit one right there.
Definitely.
It's a skill. You know what I mean? You selling. It's cold sales.
Yeah.
And there's people who are already expecting you to be there. They don't want to hear you. But if you get their attention, if you can capture them in that moment.
That's the best feeling in the world. Like, because it's like, even if you don't get it, you're gonna keep seeing people. Like, especially if you're working at a Costco, like they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
Like I found out, like while I was working there, the average member makes like $100,000 a year.
That's crazy.
For real?
Yeah,
At Costco?
in Costco.
Costco, y'all hiring.
No, the member.
Well, you got to remember though, it's a lot of businesses that shop there,
That's true.
so they count that as a part of the membership.
That makes sense.
And a lot of the
membership.
Kirkland product, that's their actual product.
Yeah.
So what they do is they find the middleman who makes the product for like Starbucks beans, and they'll go over there and be like, hey, we want the same thing and we want it in our name, and they wrap it up like their Kirkland chicken is actually Purdue chicken. Their beans is actually Starbucks beans. Their toilet paper is actually like Charmin or something.
And that's through Kirkland.
And they just
they
because
slap
you're
their
just
name
paying
on
for the name.
Slap their name on it. Yeah. Facts.
Hey, Costco 101. Costco, just know you getting the real deal.
Costco, where they keep the costs low.
Actually, here goes another fun fact about Costco. According to MSNBC, they are the top 10 job to have.
Wow.
Because they're never gonna go nowhere. They make their money off memberships.
That's what I was going. I didn't know if they were a profitable business though. They are.
They always make money because they're getting paid even if you're not shopping.
Yeah, that makes sense.
True.
That makes sense.
Well, listen, fellas. Hey, cheers up.
Cheers up,
Chewy,
man.
You for coming. Much love. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah, most definitely.
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of cheated because I took a sip.
I did peep that.
Man, that's
Smooth.
good.
We're gonna let that slide.
Smooth.
Man.
Hey man, what we talking about today, man?
I mean, we got a lot on the agenda.
A lot.
Can we go back?
Yeah.
We know who Chewy is.
That's why
I grew up listening to Chewy.
Yeah.
I knew his voice like at a young age.
935.
Wow, man.
Was it Thursday nights or Tuesday?
Thursday
nights.
Thursday nights.
So for all y'all who don't know, Chewy, go ahead and tell me who you are, man. If they don't know, cause you the man behind you the voice. You know?
I feel like that is like a loaded question because
I know.
at what point, because I have so many different phases and so many different evolutional growths in my life. Are you gonna talk about Chewy, the young kid that started up a marketing company, passing out flyers? Are you gonna talk about Chewy, the party person? Are you gonna talk about Chewy, the person that when they were having the Charlotte riots, when Keith Lamont Scott died, the first person to hug the National Guard and made that a trend? Are you gonna talk about the Chewy that is the father side, the son side?
There's a lot to unpack.
And I'm still learning how to do it in a healthier manner because, like I said, when your life is moving at 1,000 miles per hour, it's kind of hard to focus on yourself and really grow into the person you want to become. In the back of our minds, we all have this opinion of this is what I want to be like, but the steps that it takes, and sometimes the cards you're dealt are not really conducive to helping you get to where you want to get to. So I'm still figuring out myself, you know what I mean? Like I just learned like the true definition of self-love and being happy with inside yourself, and I'm still going through the process. Like a lot of other people had parents and they're like both parents, and you know what I mean, my mother tried and gave her all to making sure that I had something and had some type of support. But, you know, as you become an adult, especially being a man, a colored man, black or brown, you know, we really need like our fathers in our life. You know what I mean? And yeah, so like not having that void, but having some substitutes along the way, whether it's uncles or stepfathers or whatever the case may be, is it's still a rigorous process on understanding yourself and knowing how to respond to certain situations and how to not let your emotions dictate the outcome of what you want things to be. So I'm still a work in progress. So there's so much different we could talk about when it comes down to the Chewy, how it all happened, and the YouTube success and the radio success. And
well, let's tackle one. Let's talk to us about the radio success. We'll start there.
Okay.
And we'll just jump there. And we'll jump around. But
so before that, from me being a Charlotte native and kind of growing up in the popular high schools in the football world, kind of people knew who I was, and my friends who played ball, like I knew Chewy on Tuesday nights at 9:35.
Thursday. Stop acting like you ain't used to call me. Hey, Chewy, y'all. I'm coming down from Chapel Hill today. What's up? It's like 4 of my teammates with me. We good?
Yeah. So my next question would you say that kind of like sparked your career and sparked your success to kind of like
100%
to all these different avenues?
100%. I had a plan in the back of my mind the whole time. Okay. A lot of times I was just doing 935 for free. Because I was investing. To me, it was like when you want to go be a president of a Fortune 500 company, you got to be the intern first. You got to run and get the donuts. So that's the way I looked at it as. I didn't care about the money. I cared about establishing a network and establishing a brand. So I had a bigger picture. So to me, 935 was intern.
So real quick, for those who don't know what 935 is, just give a quick
one of the most predominant nightclubs in Charlotte nightlife history, courtesy of Adolph Schreiber and Orlando Farrar and Nick Pettiford and Robbie Goodette. You know, them 4 gentlemen enhanced the Charlotte nightlife to where now it's like, oh yeah, Charlotte is fun going out. You know what I mean? This is at a time when like Future was first coming out with like Magic and Rich Homie Quan, like all these guys that have been around. Those are how I made relationships because I was actually promoting a party. I was in school, but I had owned my own LLC. Like my job was to pass out flyers, and I was so good at it. Like in my house, I would have everything written down day by day. And I learned it from street execs. So if y'all not familiar with street execs, everybody think they're a record label, they're a management company. And what street execs does is, say for instance, they'll sign a deal with like 2 Chainz, and they'll be like, hey, we can enhance your show bookings and whatnot and get the networks with the DJs. And what they do is on Monday, these are all the nightclubs open. On Tuesday, these are all the nightclubs. Wednesday, every day, and they'll send a street team out to each nightclub and pass out flyers and shake hands with the DJ and say, hey, this is the song we pushing. And I kind of took that same concept and was like, I had a couple of homeboys that just sat in the house all day, and we was like, hey man, I'm gonna go to like 5 different businesses, tell them I'm gonna pass out their flyers. I'm gonna give us all gas money. And at the time, that's all the thing we really wanted was gas money. And buy,
because it wasn't that high back then.
Gas money, cookout, and a blue motorcycle on Long Island. We were good.
I had a blue motorcycle in a minute.
Yeah, that was back when we was like 22, 23.
I need one.
Hold on, real quick. What? Last time we went to Del Frisco.
Oh man.
No, not last time. The first time we went to Del Frisco was nice restaurant. We sit down. He said, y'all got a blue motorcycle.
No!
Right, Del Frisco's. I'm looking, I'm like, Jerm, I know you didn't ask for a blue motorcycle. She said, well, it's not on the menu. I'm like, I bet it ain't. I bet it ain't on the menu. They did make the drink. They came out, it's all blue. I said, ooh, that's pretty. I can tell I ain't been nowhere. Yeah.
That must have been the Chapel Hill in y'all,
no,
man.
That was in Charlotte.
That's the breeze, bro, with him.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I was reliving the old days, you know.
Okay, that was the go-to in Chapel Hill. That was the go-to.
still getting germ up to speed.
Yeah, I'm always getting
that blue moon is like, well,
that's funny.
Never change up, man. Stay humble.
You gotta always stay humble. About while you were growing up, you mentioned your friends and whatnot. How important was your circle of people that's around you?
They were everything, man, because you got to understand from my point of view that a lot of people didn't know. I was recovering from a car wreck. I almost died in a car wreck in front of Onyx. I was rear-ended from a car speeding. They crashed in front of me. I had arthroscopic shoulder surgery. I had a metal plate in my thumb inserted in this hand.
Wow.
And I was having back problems with concussions. And I was still trying to figure out, all right, now I'm at the point where I had a certain amount of clientele. I have record label reps. Like, because it's Charlotte, they don't look at it like in New York. And this at the time when we're bouncing back somewhat from the recession. So what they did was find people in those markets and be like, we're going to give you $500 for the future campaign for this month. Make do of it, but send us photos of the flyers. So, you know what I mean? My friends, I couldn't drive. I had a sling in this arm and I had a cast in this arm. And my friends, Coop, Brandon, like Cam, those guys really, Monte, Jason, like they would pick me up from the house, load up the boxes in their trunk, and we would just stand outside the nightclub, rain, snow, shine, and flood every car with flyers to the point where CMPD would be like, all right, y'all, are y'all breaking into cars? And we're like, no, like we just want to put out flyers and wait for the release. And we had it down packed to when we left the house to how long it took us to do a whole parking lot on Wednesdays at Republic and then catch the let out of the club and be like, hey, here goes an event, or hey, new album coming out, or hey. And we found pride in that. We found like, we found an identity in that. Like, this is what we like.
That's what's
up. I'm always trying to figure out who's putting these flyers. Because you never see them.
You never see it. You never fly.
Quick, when you get in your car, that flyer is in a good position. And I think y'all.
I was perfect at the position. Like, I was very, very, like, all my friends would be like, yo, just put it on it. I'm like, no, it has to be at a point where they have to see it. So it's
and they gotta get out.
Yeah. So like, I'll hit the windshield and don't let it be a rainy day, because then the flyer will stick on the window. And I'll be like, yes, I got you. I got you.
It don't matter how fast you drop, and that flyer is
not coming off. So so like we found a lot of pride, and just like you guys now, we had a lot of chemistry because, you know what I mean, we wanted to be outside. We didn't want to be in the club. We weren't heavy drinkers at that time. So we were just like, we just gonna do something that could further advance us. And, you know, they all believed in me, and, you know, they supported me, and I'm forever indebted into them. Like, you know, that we could go 3-4 months without talking to each other. And it's just gonna be like, it's forever love. You know, so shout out to them, because without them, there wouldn't be no me. I used to take my mom a car and load it up. And like during the day, I would go to every nail salon, every barbershop in one day. Wow. I would start off on Margaret Wallace, go down WT, come back around, go to South Side, Sharon Lakes, Blades, shout out to Warren. And I would just make my way around the city and just promote.
So now y'all see the grind that went behind, you know what I'm saying? Sure. My boy being where he is today. It's not just all glamorous what you see now, but really put that time and that effort in to like get to where he is today. And we can talk about football all day, but it's kind of the same thing, bro. Like I said, we stepped on campus, first day together, me 6 days at the hospital. So I was a newbie, I didn't know what was going on, but we had those days where we grinded, rain, snow, everything, you know what I'm saying? My boy Germ, like, getting us prepared to be out there. So,
but that's the luxury and the benefit of hard work. You know, a lot of people are scared to get their hands dirty, or they think they're too good for it. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta treat the janitor the same way you treat the CEO. Because you never know, the janitor may be the CEO and knows more than the CEO. They just don't have the opportunity or the level of certification to be at that point. So, you know what I mean? The hard work is going to always prevail. That's something that Adolf always taught me. Like, as long as you work hard, it's going to always, it may not work out when you want, but trust and believe down the road. And I still have the great relationships just from passing out flyers. Whether I was breaking up fights or, shoot, sometimes I was in them. You know?
So I like what you said earlier, too, where you were like, you know, I use that same technique and, you know, the same technique to basically get ahead. So talk about what kind of came after 935, right? Like, what was that next?
Well, at that time, I was working at Costco.
Yeah.
I was in school at Johnston Wells, studied sports entertainment event management.
Yeah.
Ideally, I was scheduled to go to Florida State because at the time I wanted to be a sports agent. I had a younger cousin that was playing basketball. So I was going to be his protector during his college career, making sure that, all right, bro.
Yeah, we know that.
I'm in the gym with you passing the ball and I'm making sure, hey, you're on time or the girls are not, you're not.
You understand what the vision is.
Exactly, because I see so much potential in you. And then what wound up happening was I had a kid and I couldn't go no more because I'm about a year and a half, 2 years older than him. So in the midst of him finishing up high school and me in college, I had a child. So that I couldn't leave to go to Florida State. I need to be a dad because I never really had my father in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, I'm going to be here. So if I'm going to be here, I got to change a career. And that's when I found out Johnston Wells. Number one, they didn't care about SAT scores.
Luckily,
shout out to them. You know what I mean? But when I was in like my final years of high school, I found out I had ADHD, and I didn't know how to control it. Like they'll put a problem up on the board, and I'll see them do it one time, and I got it down pat.
Yeah.
But I'll get bored.
Yeah.
Like, and that's when I'll start like, so what's up, man? You saw the game? Like, you ever seen that guy that just watched it and then jokes around all day because they already got the first part, but because of my ADHD, I stopped paying attention to the second part and the third part.
How to get the answer.
How to get the real answer when it comes down to test time. I just knew the beginning, but that's because my mind, I was bored. It wasn't fast enough. It wasn't entertaining enough for me. So when my child came, I had to find a different career change, and I really, really adored events. Like when I was younger, I lived in Newark and I was at the Boys and Girls Club, and I became a spokesperson for the Boys and Girls Club. At the time, the NBA was doing an initiative. They now call it NBA Cares. It was NBA Read to Achieve. And I was the face of it during the whole Jason Kidd era. So I was like the little,
So you were right there.
I was right there. I was the face of it. I could show you the photos. I was the little ghetto kid that they found that had common sense and looked somewhat together. And next thing you know, I'm doing press conferences with David Stern to the point where he knew me by first name. I'm doing press conferences with the HBCU legend Willis Reed. I'm doing press conferences with Bill Walton, Wally Zerviak's parents. Like, I'm doing commercials with Troy Aikman and United Way. You could Google all this.
So immediately, like, your network was boom.
My mind was already, at a young age, my mom was like, okay. I would go to basketball games because the Nets at the time, this was like prior to Jason Kidd, it was Stephon Marbury there. They would just give away tickets to the Boys and Girls Club because nobody was going to the games. So I would go to the games and try to find out how is the building working versus the game. I didn't care about the game. How can I get from these level 200, how can I get down here? So once I figured out, okay, the security structure, all right, boom, let me see. Okay, all I gotta do is flash a ticket, or I could just say, hey, my mom is down there. So I'll be sitting on the floor while everybody else up there. And then I'll know, like, all right, we gotta leave around middle of fourth quarter, and I'll go find them and I'll be like, okay, I'm ready. But by that time, one in New Jersey, Nets reps who became working for the NBA and then IZOD, Claudia Arbeles, she saw me and she was like, I don't know what it is about you, but I want to work with you. And little did I know she was the New Jersey Nets PR, head of PR and community relations. So I fit the mold because I was just intrigued. So I say that to say, like, later on in life, when I figured out the Florida State move wasn't gonna happen, I found a school that had event management, which was Johnson & Wales. And I would still be in Charlotte, so my mom was close to me. I had a cousin that I met on Facebook at the time. And a lot of my family relatives, they're either 10 years older than me or 10 years younger. So I'm like the only one. I'm my only child, but I'm the middle one. I'm the middle one. So I found a cousin that hit me up online and was like, yo, I'm your cousin. And he winds up moving to Charlotte, and we staying in Sharon Lakes in the hood, Section 8 around us, but my mom had owned the property. So I was like, oh, we good. You know what I mean? How much is rent? $900. Got a little job, TJ Maxx, working at Carowinds while going to school, but we didn't have a car. But so this was when the light rail first happened. So we used to walk up Sharon Road West. That hill, if you're on the south side, brutal. Especially when it's raining too. Oh man. So
Go slide back down.
yeah. So then I learned about parties because I was like 20. And I would be like, yo, we can't go into clubs now. So we'll just have house parties to the point where it'd be like 300 people.
Police coming.
No, the police was cool. They were cool. It wasn't even the police. It was the sheriff officer just because it was Section 8. We had some gangsters out there. But the gangsters was cool with me. They were just like, man, go ahead, man. You having fun. Go ahead. As long as you gave them some liquor or something, you good. Twins, man, they were cool. You know what I mean?
Were you on the mic?
No, there was no microphone. It was a regular house party. I was upstairs. I was upstairs. Everybody was partying downstairs. I was upstairs. You know, so, you know, just doing all of that, that's when I realized Johnson & Wales was the best fit for me with their sports entertainment event management.
Got it.
And then it just so happens that my uncle's closest friend was Adolph R. Shiver. And he was like, yo, I got this club, we're doing college nights. And I'm like, yo, I already got a following from Charlotte. But I'm in school at Johnson & Wales. And there it goes. And I had the colleges on lock. So I would go to Johnson C. Smith in Johnson & Wales. I hang out at Smith because that's the culture. And Johnson & Wales, that's the politics. So I hang out on both and get a mutual. Go up there, hoop with the brothers, because I knew they knew how to hoop.
They had your balance.
Come down here and eat some food and go kick it with some shorty, because I know they were cool and they had their own money. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm reaping the best. So when he was like, we got to do college parties, and he didn't even really know I knew a lot of people at the time. So I went there and I just was like, can I get with you? Can I promote and stuff? And it's like, like anything to help. I ain't gonna pay you, but I just was like, I need something to do. I'm bored. And then that's how all it happened. I got on the microphone the second night, and
so I think white men in corporate, right, is something you just mentioned. Culture and politics. If you can mix the two, like if you know how to still be yourself, right, and then also know how to navigate, you know, in the corporate world, ultimate success.
And I think that's something like, as a black man, we kind of like shy away from trying to mix those two together. But if you have that trait, then you're golden. You know what I'm saying? You set yourself apart from anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a huge thing, being able to mix politics and culture. And like we mentioned before, just selling yourself, like being credible, like knowing people can believe in what you're saying and believe in your plan or your vision. So I think that's a great point.
And it was rare because at the time Johnson & Wales required you to wear suit and tie. So we wouldn't be able to go into class if we had sneakers. So every day I would go in class, I was like the Will Smith of the crew. I was like, I gotta wear a tie. All right, I'm gonna go get this Steve Harvey tie. You know what I mean? Yeah, because Bank of America shares a building with Johnson & Wales. So in one of the buildings, you're actually in the building with these corporate execs and whatnot. So you have to be dressed. Yeah. And that's where I learned. I said, all right, I'm gonna learn this, but I'm gonna also enhance this because this is my natural core of who I am. But I need to learn the corporate world. So learning how to talk, knowing how to be like, all right,
just networking.
Network.
So let me ask you that too. So okay, so we got how you got there. Now I heard you was on the mic. You know, you hop on the mic sometimes. Like, I'm just curious how that translated over to radio. I feel like that's such a hard thing to break into. You know, I feel like it's a hard industry, especially because auditions and the rest of it. But I think that's like that's kind of cool that you were able to go that route from being a club promoter and things like that.
Well, what I've learned was that it's harder for you to be a radio personality than it is for you to make it in the NFL.
Wow. Say that again. Say that one more time.
You want me to tell you why?
Why?
Look how many jobs there are.
Yeah.
It's harder for you to be a successful radio personality than it is for you to be a professional athlete.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about on your body and all that. I'm just talking about there's not that many jobs. Because the radio industry, they could easily simulcast somebody. So they could get somebody from New York like Charlemagne and have over 100 markets.
It just broadcast.
And no markets, people lost their job now.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't think about it like that. So how did that work for you? Like, how did you break into that?
I got into radio. Actually, I was on Twitter all the time. I was a big Twitter buff. I had this thing called TweetDeck. And what it was, TweetDeck, and I think they're still around, they have a format where, you know how you look at your regular timeline? I could look at 5 different timelines.
Oh, I remember TweetDeck.
So I could search I used to use that. So I could search in the word. So I would search 935. And I'll just leave that up as a column. I would search Charlotte, leave that up as a column. And I'll search like a regular artist who's trending or whatever, and leave that up. And what I would do is I would sit on the phone and promote. And I see one person say, oh, we may go to 935. I would write you and be like, oh yeah, it's up tonight. So now my followers see me.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's crazy. To the point where I would promote it now on social media. I can honestly say I was one of the first social media promoters in probably North Carolina, especially the way I had it down back.
Yeah.
By the time you were walking out the club and you said 935 was lit on Twitter, I already responded back to you before I'm in the car. And I would respond back to everybody, even if I didn't know you, even if you was a man. And like, a lot of times we have this stigma as being men that we can't talk to other men.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Especially like going out.
I didn't give a damn. I was talking to everybody like, oh, you came out, man. Appreciate it. Wait till next week. It's going up even more next week.
That's crazy.
And that's how it happened. So a lot of people be like, man, he tweeted me. And they'll be like,
I gotta show love.
Yeah.
I gotta show love.
Or I'll just write them and be like, man, come through next time. I got you and a friend.
They're gonna feel a connection.
4 years straight, I did that.
Yeah,
and this is before Instagram.
Yeah.
So I was already planning like, all right, I just need to get my name and following bigger. And then I want to go to radio.
Yeah.
And I reached out at the time, it was only Power 98 here. And I'm like, yo, I'm doing way more retweets than No Limit Larry right now. Like, there's no reason. I'm a new young face. Like, I'm on fire. I need a job.
Yeah.
And I reached out to him and he was like, nah. Like, he kind of like,
brush you off.
I tell the story all the time, man. And I see why he did it. You know what I mean? Because his life is moving on.
Yeah.
So he's keeping up.
Yeah.
He don't want you to overstep, but he's also No Limit Larry. So I used to be like, yo, man, can you give me a job? I want to be on the radio. But I'm in school for sports entertainment management. I'm not in school for journalism or communications. So I'm just like, they're like, nah. And then they try to make me be a part of the promotional team. I'm like, y'all want me to set up tents? I'm like, y'all got me fucked up. And then, unbeknownst, a guy named Medi Med came into the fold. Streets 103.3 had opened. The former vice president programmer from Radio 1 had left and created his own company. And Medi was the program director. And Medi was like, I'm going to teach you how to be on radio. And literally, I went from pushing shopping carts, and I used to go to work all the time and be like, I ain't gotta be doing this shit.
Well, I said the same. Listen, so it's funny because I used to work at a grocery store called Fair Value. And
is that why they had all them shopping carts in the parking lot?
Shopping carts in the parking lot. Nah. So what happened with me though is I used to go to work, and I used to tell my dad when I get home, I'm like, hey man, I ain't coming back home to work in a grocery store, right?
Sure.
But that was my motivation, though. Honestly, that's what really like pushed me to get to where I'm at now. Because it's like, bro, I'm not pushing those. And even like the manager that was there, first of all, I had to beg for the job. And then once I got the job, I'm like, I don't want to be here, bro. But that was like, that's what I had to do when I was in high school. And then me and my dad joke about it now until today. He's like, you always say you were going to push no grocery carts. I'm like, I ain't pushing no grocery carts. But
you got to start somewhere, though.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
And I was so thankful for Costco. Like a lot of people don't know, Costco is one of the highest paying jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I walked in making like $16 an hour, and this is back in 2007.
You lived in
2007. That's what minimum wage, $8.25.
Yeah, so I was already making more than some people's parents.
For sure.
And I was working 39 hours a week,
Yeah.
getting time and a half every Sunday.
So you're just making bread.
So I was making my money, but I was like, all right,
This ain't it.
This ain't what I want to do. Even though I loved everyone there. Like, I still go back over there. My mom still goes, and they embrace us because that was a real family to me, and they still are. But I would walk in and be like, yo, I'm not doing this forever. Like, there's people that worked there for 30 years, and they're amazing people, but that's what they want to do.
That's what they want to do.
That's not what I wanted for myself.
That's it.
I will always be like, man, I'm not going to be here for longer than a certain amount of years.
Yeah,
and
I did want to touch on something. I just wanted to go away because I think it's crucial what you said.
For sure.
You brought up the point, the guy at 103.3, where he was like, I'm going to teach you how to be on
For
radio.
sure. That was so hard.
That's like, that one thing right there, that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like for example, like when I was trying to get my job in tech, Jeremy's like, I'm going to teach you how to get a job in tech, right? He's like, you need to do this, this, and this. I'm like, okay, I do this, this, this. And that's what I did. There's a lot of people who sometimes don't want to take that guidance just because they like, they just want it right away. Right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was huge because I think there needs to be more of that, right?
Well,
people are reaching back.
Manny was a visionary.
Yeah.
He's one of the best. I really hate that. Sometimes in this industry, it's very easy to get blackballed. And Manny by far was like the most dimensional person in the world. He knew how to DJ.
Yeah.
He still does commercials. Like you'll hear his voice in Atlanta and in Philly. Like he's the voiceover for commercials that a lot of people don't know. So he was the total package. And for him to be like, I see something in you.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's do it. So my first day on radio, my mom had moved to New York. I was in the middle of a custody case, and they hand me a paper, and they're like, read this. And I'm like this.
Hey, Jeff, he's smart, though.
I was like this. I said, happy 60th birthday. Hope you enjoyed your day. That's how I read it.
Yeah.
But when you're on radio, like, I'll cut my radio voice on. It'll be like, you have to sound like this. Happy 60th birthday. You already know what's going on. It's your boy Chewy. Check me out each and every Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 right here on Streets 103.3.
Hey, y'all got
I wish I turned 60 right now. Yeah, me too. It's my birthday too.
So he taught me how to read from that to reading like what I just did.
Yeah.
So, I can honestly say I would be not this Chewy persona without Medi and also his nephew Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny is younger than me. He's like 3 or 4 years younger. But Johnny was always hungry in the streets. So Johnny was the one who told him about me.
Because he knew about your name.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Now fast forward, guess who's my DJ at the number one party on Carolina's Stats on Sunday.
Stats on
Johnny KD.
Oh yeah. So in high school with him.
Yeah. So
Shout out my boy KD.
Shout out to him.
I went to high school with him.
So now it's funny because we are so we got like telepathy. Like we can just look at each other and just be like, and he knows what song, he knows what we gotta do, he knows how to mute.
Shout out my boy KD.
Yeah, and one of the most humblest dudes, and actually, truth be told, Johnny is probably one of the most strongest dudes. He beat cancer twice.
Oh man.
Wow.
Prayers up.
I fought him during that.
So that was a big thing for us because after my first year at radio, I had left because at Streets we didn't have benefits. I had a 3 or 4 year old, my daughter was at the time.
Yeah, you need that.
And I said, yo, I gotta make a decision to leave you and what we created. Johnny, Meddy, and Bug TV, our videographer, one of the best directors in the world. I left them. I said, Radio 1 is deciding to flip a station and make it hip hop. And they approached me and I'm going to take it because I need the benefits. And, you know, in the radio world, if you work for a mom and pop company, a lot of times your checks may bounce. If they're not
based on money. Yeah.
And that was happening.
And that's why you hear all the ads and everything because that's where they make money.
That's where they make money.
So like a Power 98, I feel like every time I'm on there, I'm like, it's an ad. I'm like, I don't hear no music.
They got 100,000 watts though. You can hear them from downtown Charlotte to Columbia.
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah.
Streets 103.3, you can only hear uptown Charlotte.
Yeah.
Because they were only on like a 10,000 watt.
Right.
So not only was I leaving the 10,000 watt to go on like a 35,000 watt, but I was also getting benefits.
Yeah.
So when I left, it left like a sore stain with them, like, how you just leave us?
Just leave us like that.
Yeah. And then
But you gotta do what's best for you.
I had to do what's best for me at that moment. And what wound up happening, in my first year or second year at Radio 1, Johnny caught cancer. Like literally, like lost his hair, everything, and like nails was going black. And you know that he was always my best friend, like even on radio, teaching me a lot. And they told me, they said, yo, you can't post about him. You can't say wish you well. And I won't say who said it in the company, but it was said by a higher person because basically I had all this momentum going.
So it's kind of like a non.
It's like, it's like a And literally I just was like, man, I'm going to the hospital today and I'm gonna hang out with him. And if I post a photo,
so what?
I don't care. Like, I don't.
That's wild.
Certain things in life, I'm not gonna let nobody dictate who I am. You know, a lot of times we could compartmentalize it, we can internalize it, but I'm not gonna let that break me. And literally, I went to the hospital with him, sat in there, made him laugh, brought him Wendy's, and like cried. You know what I mean? Like, gave him that support. Like, yo, man, we gotta beat this. When you get out, we gotta be up. Like, because we had stopped talking since my departure. And, you know, I think at that moment, that's what he needed out of me. Not just out of everyone else, but as of me knowing that, hey, bro, no matter how this shit may go, I'm here for you. And I always was on the phone with him and giving him that, and then he did it again and beat it. So I'm like, I see my mother go through breast cancer. That shit is not easy, right? And seeing the triggers of what causes cancers, it's a lot of stress. Stress is like the number one factor I heard of like cancer. So it's like I've seen it before prior to him, and seeing anyone that goes through cancer, man, I've seen my aunt pass away from it spreading on her body.
I went through a similar thing. I was at practice 2014. And my parents showed up to practice, and it was closed practice. We don't have parents, you know, they don't come. And I see my mom and dad on the sideline, and I'm, you know, it's a nice surprise. I'm excited to see him. And after practice, they were like, we need to talk to you. And I'm like, what? Maybe I got a scholarship, you know, everything, all that anxiety and anticipation. I'm trying to figure out what happened. And Mitch Mason, shout out to Mitch. I know he's going through what he's going through. Prayers up. He stepped in the room. I think it was a tight end room. We stepped inside, and we just hold hands. So now I'm really trying to figure out what's going on, right? And we start praying, and then my mom and dad, you know, there's like my mom has been diagnosed with breast cancer, you know, and it was probably the toughest news I've ever experienced.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, and we prayed and we prayed and we cried and we held each other, you know, and it was just like that moment was probably like the most priceless moment ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what we did is the same thing you just said. Like, after we finished all the emotions, my dad cracked a joke, and then we laughed, and then the last comment we said before we walked out the room, we are gonna beat this. Right? Like you said, it wasn't him going through it by himself. You went with him, right? And I went through the same thing with us, and we fought it together. She ended up passing in 2015, September 2nd.
My condolences.
But up until that point, it was fight. It was fight.
At what stage was it?
4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and it was the same thing. So, even more emotion, like in March of 2015, she beat it, right? When it wasn't in her breast anymore. Right? So, she started growing her hair back, right? We was able to celebrate her birthday April 12th. I actually went home, celebrated her birthday, and then like that same month, she started feeling like losing feeling in her fingers. And then it kind of moved to her brain, right? So
spread,
right? So before you know it, they gave her 3 months to live, and we actually have a family reunion, which was, again, as I look back at these things, I'm like, wow, everything happened for a reason, right? We was able to spend time with family that we hadn't seen in a long time, you know, and I was able to, like, even the day that she passed, I was in practice. I'm in practice. We was in film, and I'm sitting right beside Larry Fedora, and my dad called me. So I'm like, what's he calling? He knows I'm in practice. I answer the phone, like, hey, you need to get home, right? And right then I knew, like, all right, something's up. But he didn't tell me what. So I'm doing 115, 120 on 40, coming from Chapel Hill to Winston-Salem.
You was risking it.
What?
License was about to be gone.
Hey, y'all ain't hear that.
They ain't got no proof.
So I'm going as fast as I can. I get back to Winston. Going through the hospital, right, and I run into the room, and she's taking like her final breaths, man.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, then they asked, and I'm going into it, but they asked me and my dad, like, we had to make a decision, like, because it was like, do we want to try to preserve life, or do we want to let her go peacefully, right? And so we stepped out, and a decision I want nobody to have to go through, right? But in that moment, we prayed, and it was like, God, like, whatever your will. Even though my mom had already said she didn't want to be like a vegetable. You know what I'm saying? So we walk back in the room, before we can even see the doctors, she's like literally. And that was it. We didn't have to make a decision. Oh, wow. I was able to see her. I was able to be there with her at the table. I mean, you know, and it was just like.
And that's a very tough feat, man. Like, seeing a lot of people not get tested for like breast cancer, you know, like seeing D'Angelo Williams, you know what I mean, a very good friend of mine, like him losing his mom. Like, I didn't know D'Angelo Williams was getting fined from the NFL for having pink hair.
That's crazy.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
He was being fined by the NFL every game for having like a pink apparel racing awareness for breast cancer.
Wow, that's crazy. Wow.
Hey man, that's some deep stuff, man. But just a message out of that, like, everybody have their own battle, bro.
For sure.
And people may see you and be like, "Oh man, Chewy, like,
life is
out
great.
here, life is great."
Great.
He was with Trey Songz yesterday, sitting courtside with Jacquees.
Oh, yeah, time out.
Like, hold on.
We got, go ahead.
Sitting courtside with Jacquees, like, taking pictures with Jay-Z, but it's like, damn, bro, it really took me a lot to get here, and I really went through the struggle. Like, hospital rooms with my best friend suffering cancer, like, becoming a father during the highest peak of my promotion into my career, like pushing the carts and costs. Like, that's deep, man. That's deep.
And then, like, my mother has always been the person of balance a little. Like, she's the shadow. She's really the load carrier, because when I gotta go do Chewy and I'm only getting a little bit of time with my daughter, my mother has her more than me sometimes. You know what I mean? But I'm okay with it because, number one, it's a female. And sometimes, you know, I grew up listening to radio. Michael Baisden was one of my favorite people. So Michael Baisden had a segment that he ended it every time and said, "It takes a man to raise men." Mm-hmm. And that was like my father in my head, like because he was teaching us life lessons. He would say, "Write in, and we're gonna talk about this. Like, how do people approach bullies? How do people approach parents with letting them know secrets, letting them know about infidelity, sex, and all this?" And it was healthy conversations. Yeah. And that's how I try to make the radio show do. Yeah. But I wanted it to be more of a let's crack a joke about it, but let's
talk about it too.
Yeah. So like a lot of people didn't know, like my whole radio show and everything, I formatted everything. Mm-hmm. Everything you heard on my radio show, I made.
Wow.
And that's dope.
And I didn't go to school for none of it.
Nah, yeah, that's
and that's dope, man. Like, I've known you for a while. Like I said, I pulled up a picture from probably 2013.
Oh wow.
I met him in Onyx, man, but I never knew this Chewy, you know what I'm saying? Like, so sitting here getting to like hear all this stuff, like it wasn't just all like, oh, that's Chewy 935, oh, Chewy here tonight. That's where we going, like being able to like hear like what it really took, the grind, the grit, the letdowns, like bro, that's
well,
big,
I never really like feeling comfortable talking about it.
Yeah. And that's
me talking like this, it's just I just got to a point where I now like doing it a little bit because I know somewhere someone's being inspired.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
I always wanted just to be like, all right, keep it as a talent. Yeah. Just do your job, be happy, go home, shake the hands, kiss the babies, and go home.
Yeah. And that's why we like doing like we're doing, right? Because everybody has their own story.
For sure.
And like, I love how you talk about like pushing carts. I did the same thing. Yeah. And you have to turn the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was pushing like 20 carts. You know what I mean? Like this.
I used to make that my workout.
Yeah, that was the workout. Yeah, I knew you know about when you did this. No, I'm all up.
Yeah. So, and so just continue on your story too, man. Like, I think Keedrick had mentioned it. So, like you said, there's a lot of different aspects in your life, you know, and we diving into a little bit of each of them. But you know, we talked about in the beginning, we talked about radio. Keedrick mentioned what you're doing now, which is doing an even bigger stage. Right? So now you're gonna elevate it. A bigger stage.
All right, so throughout the radio career, I found myself not being happy. I was promised things that, you know, were not being fulfilled. I kind of got burnt out to a certain degree. I was endorsed by Coca-Cola to the point where they were bringing 18-wheeler trucks to the radio station, loading up my room with Sprite, P&B Rock, they would just come in and be like, "Can we take a case Black Youngster?" I'm like, "Take all the cases. They're gonna bring more. Take them all." You know what I mean? And I felt as though I didn't have the control I wanted for the vision. Like, I would sit in rooms like this and everybody in this room would be over the age of 45, and I'm the only one in my 20s, and I'm like, you can't tell me
what's hot,
what's going on. Y'all all go home and take care of your kids. I am outside, like, this is my life, I live this. You know what I mean? And like, they'll be like, "Hey, we can't get in touch with the heads of Coca-Cola," and I'm like, "I know, he calling me. Telling me that he don't want to listen to y'all because y'all gonna come with the same radio mumble jumble." When I first got to one of the stations, nobody in the room had social media.
Wow.
I'm like, how could you relate to me? How could you relate to the target audience?
I was about to say, how can you relate to the audience?
There's a couple things, like, and I kind of studied you a little bit. I know you're big on mental health. Right. I know you have a therapist. Right. Can you talk to us about that? Because at times I feel like I'm out of control. You know what I mean? I feel like, I don't know if it's the music I'm listening to. I don't know if it's the thoughts that I'm having. You know, and it's always like one thing after another.
Sometimes you just call it a moment. You feel like you got 100%.
I have no control of what's going on. You know what I mean? So like
100%.
Mental health therapist.
How do you balance that?
I was scared of the stigma of a therapist for years. Like, to the point when we first found out I had ADHD, my mom instantly was like, "Okay, we gotta get you a therapist. We gotta get you on medication." I was on Concerta for a while, and I just like kind of wigged off it. I was like, "Oh, I think I'm good," and that's usually the trait. Once you get on it and you're doing good, they always be like, I don't need to know. And I was good. I was straight A's. I went from C, B, C, D to straight A's in like a semester. So I was like, I don't need this no more. And, you know, I was in denial about it for years. I developed a drinking habit that was very unhealthy. I would cover up my problems and my insecurities with drinking and like wilding out and lashing out or trying to be the cool guy. I was trying to be the man without being an A-man.
He was trying to be
That's a bar.
That's a bar.
Trying to be the man without being a man.
So with that being said, was it ever a point you was like, I'm tired of going to the club. I'm tired of all this. I'm tired of doing this. Like,
100%.
Like, cause I feel like, man, Tuesday through Sunday, you was
I was outside every night.
Partying.
I was outside every night.
And to be in that element, you may have to take 2 shots. So
No,
that
I got to the point where I was comfortable taking close to 10 shots a night.
Yeah. And being yourself. But everybody loving you though.
Yeah, everybody want to give me a free shot.
Yeah. So that's
that's their way of like
Appreciation.
Like, yo, man, I rock with you, and I genuinely appreciate it. Like I genuinely appreciate the
love.
gestures. And it's like if you don't take it, it's almost a sign of disrespect. So now that I'm at this age and I'm at where I'm at now, traveling the world and doing all this stuff, I have to explain it to people to a certain degree. Like, hey man, I can't drink. And they're like, why? I'm like, I had to get over that discomfort of saying like, hey, it's not healthy for me.
Or you can have fun without drinking.
No, I just say that. And now I don't really go out to have fun.
You go out for work.
Yeah, I just go do a show and come back home.
Like, it's not just work.
That's dope. My mother has tried to save me from myself for years, and it wasn't until, you know what I mean. I said this before. Like, I fell in love with a girl, and like she's amazing. But we will always clash because of who I was. I didn't realize who I was. Like I get so drunk one night, and then I know I'm supposed to be up at 7:30 to go get my daughter from my mother while she go to work. And guess what? I'm so hungover.
You can't even do it.
I'm not waking up till 11 now. My mom done called out of work, and I'm just missing. And now it's like it's a reflection of, oh, he probably out with his girl, or he probably out, and it's like, nah, she ain't go out either. I just got fucked up, and I'm masking my problem. And unmasking yourself to find yourself is a hard pill to swallow, no matter who you are. You know what I mean? Especially being in the spotlight, being humbled because you hurt everyone around you. It not only hurts yourself after you figured out when you did it, it also hurts yourself on your progress coming back because they're gonna always see that side of it. So they're gonna be like, yeah, we've seen this before.
Damn, that's deep.
So
That's big though, because I remember Cole had a line about these people probably know me better than I know myself. So like having that fame or having just the notoriety of people, you at times you'll feel like insecure because you may think they may know more about you that you don't really know because you haven't done that work.
They have an idea of it. It may not have been my first time trying.
Do you feel like you're like, I guess your work and professionalism, do you feel like that increased like and it's better since you kind of
100%. I'm on time. I'm aware. I'm alert.
You definitely on time.
You know what I mean? Like,
He beat me.
I like that though. I like that.
Seldomly now do I walk in the room and I have an attitude of you know who I am. I'm more so like, oh hey, what's wrong with you? What are you doing today? Oh, is somebody's birthday in here? What's the birthday person's name? I'm gonna shout them out all night. You know what I mean?
That's dope, bro.
I learned like,
the humble.
Be humble, man. Shake every security guard hand. Shake the barback's hands. Shake the cook's hands. Know when it's somebody's birthday. Make them feel good. Because that's genuinely who I am. But when you got the drinks in you, like you said earlier, when that music get in your head and you listen to kill, murder, that's how your mind starts thinking. Because you're embedded in repetition in your mind.
Yeah.
And when you're embedded in negativity, what you think gonna happen with your mind? Negative thoughts.
Exactly.
Negative actions.
Yeah.
And I had to like isolate myself. Like
For sure.
Y'all asked me earlier, y'all was like, yo, you listen to new music?
Nah.
Hey, look, you got a couple playlists. I think one of your playlists is like the new generation or something on Apple Music.
Yeah.
And I started playing it, and it wasn't really new.
Nah.
it was music I listened to.
Yeah.
All right, Chewy, let me hear it.
Like it's more of a, I want to be able to evolve, and sometimes being able to evolve into the next character and the next phase in your life and the next chapter.
And he knows too. That's why I listen like I listen like to Cole all the time. You know? I'm a big J. Cole fan.
I love J. Cole.
Me too.
It wasn't the fact that I couldn't go get. A lot of times when I started getting that money, it wasn't the fact that I couldn't go get the Gucci's, the Pradas.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of that.
You don't even need it.
I don't care.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
Like my girl, well, now my girl again. She took me back after all this stuff.
But you're completely different though.
Yeah, like she sees it, but it still hurts her to a certain degree. Like, damn, why were you like that? And I'm like, I don't know who I was like that, but you know what I mean? I look at it as like J. Cole, man, like he always resonated well with me because he wasn't impressed by nothing. It's not like I have an uncle that's a big time jeweler. If I want to go get a fucking Cuban link, I could be like, hey,
there's no need.
Yeah, I don't care about you. I don't
the value
Like,
what's the value?
It's something like that. Yeah, right. I think one thing that I'm like so impressed by, like meeting you in person, right, is seeing like the humility. And one thing that I've always cherished, you know, my own self on is like I love building relationships with the people who were at times looked over. Like at work, you know, right? It's the cleaners, the janitors, the wheelchair pushers. Like I'm like this, hey, how you doing? Right? And I genuinely want to know. I want you to know that I really care about you. Yeah, the success that I have experienced is not because like I go into a room and I say, hey, woe is me, right? But it's more so because the people that I cherish, the people that are the wheelchair pushers, they're the ones talking, right? They tell you a story. I'm gonna tell your story. Yeah. Next time I'm talking to somebody, hey, do you know this guy? You know what he stands for, right? And that's the same thing I've experienced. I've had people that are looked over at times. You know, they're networking with other people. They know other people, right? And they telling them like, hey man, Charles this, Charles that. Your reputation gonna precede you.
Of course, but you know, everybody has an opinion. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times where I meet people where I'm probably like, back in the day where I was drunk and I didn't care, and I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I got a song I'm promoting.
It's a duality though. You can't be perfect.
Walking with my daughter and you're telling me about your hoodie line. I'm like, hey, bro.
It's
not fucking time.
time.
I probably just woke up. I don't want to be walking the mall, but it's just not time. And I had to learn how to be like, okay.
Say it the right way.
Let me hold on. Okay, what's going on with you? How you doing? Nice to meet you. Now is not probably a good time, but here's my such and such. And we'll politics.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that too, because like I see, like just thinking about the NFL. You know, I've seen a lot of people get caught out because he didn't want to sign his hat. It's like, man, like these are regular people too. Like they need your space sometimes, and you can't always be. Like, and
they don't care.
They don't. Yeah, that's what you.
How many times I get pulled when I'm doing a performance or something is asinine. Like to the point where I have to tell the club owners put 2 or 3 security guards around me because not out of fear for them, but fear for me. Because what happens if I don't play your song? You're mad.
Look at Devontae.
What happens if I don't shout you out? You're mad. You know what I mean? Like this stuff is real.
But still, Devontae.
And all of a sudden I'm an asshole. So just let me avoid all of it. I don't want to deal with nothing. Now if I see someone I know, that's different. I'm gonna be like, yo, what's up? How you doing?
For sure.
But it's people that I don't know that are fans, supporters, and I'm not trying to be wrong to them. It's just like I'm in work mode, dog. Like,
people can't separate that.
I can't worry about just you, and it's 700 other people.
For sure.
Like, it's kind of hard. So I've gotten better at better at it. But you know, just like life, everything's a process. And as long as you progress and it's cool, and as long as you have people around you that understand,
focus on your mental health. I think mental health is huge, bro. It's huge.
And speaking, well, we'll talk about that as well. Kind of, that's very big as well. We've kind of gone into that, but haven't. You know, always good to have another perspective of it too. But also, for you thinking about progress, what's like the next thing for you, right?
I said it not too long ago, and it's like finding internal happiness consistently. Before I was finding happiness. Now I'm happy in who I am. Cool. But as I said before, as you're going through the journey of being happy, you have a lot of people that have been around you throughout all these years that has seen sides of you that almost to the point unforgivable. You know what I mean? Like really unforgivable. Like, cause there's been things I did that even now I still beat myself up. And I learned when you're happy, you don't really beat yourself up anymore, but you're cognizant of the mistakes that you made, and you're like, yo, man, I can't believe I did that. And no amount of I'm sorry
it's gonna fix that.
It's gonna take that boom away. Like the stuff that I've done to my mother, that I realized, I'm like, even though she's hard on me, it's because she always saw something in me that I didn't see, and I wasn't taking it serious. And I'm like, damn, Ma, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like when I look at my girl, I'm like, damn, yo, I'm sorry. And now I'm at that point where it's like, yo, I'm really different. Like I'm really there. And they're like, for how long? And it's like, that's the worst feeling in all. But that is that demon that just won't go away. You're like, stop bringing it up. I don't want to hear about it.
But I say this though, like just like it's my first time meeting, right? But I'll say this, like as soon as, based on like the stuff that you're telling us, like you're living by that, right? Like you came in, I was like, you want anything? Like, oh no, I said I got whatever you want. You're like, nah, you know, I only do wine, right? But that's what you're sticking to, and that's cool, right? And then I also think personally, like kind of like Charles, I'm impressed, right? Like I love the evolution that that I've even just heard about. I mean, because I looked at your Instagram page too, and just going through, and it's like taking it from everything that you don't talk about. To
trying to see the progress.
Where he's at now, like when you on the biggest stages, like literally you were the biggest artist, like so like he's with all the biggest R&B, hip hop artists.
It's actually cool, crazy. I don't even know if y'all know how like the Young Blue thing happened.
Nah,
y'all want me to tell y'all?
Break that down.
That's the latest. Like that's your new gig, right?
That's the new. Because I got so much more.
But how recent was that? That's pretty recent, right?
I was about 3 months ago.
I've never known you to DJ, bro. Never.
I'm gonna tell you why.
That's what I was like.
I'm gonna tell you why.
When he said that, I was like, DJ.
You gonna tell you why I never like gave a damn about it. Because these motherfuckers only making like $250. I can't do this shit. But you got people who want to create their brand. I created my brand differently. My brand was out the box. I was just a host.
That's what I'm saying. That's so
seeing him as a DJ, I was like,
it was like a real thing. No, it was a real thing. DJs would get mad at me because they're like,
you didn't put time in this crap.
No, fuck that. I didn't pay more than you for 2 hours than you did before. Like DJs hated me. So I only had like False ID who gave a fuck about it. False ID was
Maybach music.
False ID was the guy that was like, all right, I'm gonna teach you how to perfect your craft. I'm gonna teach you how to talk from your diaphragm. Like False was that guy.
Speaking on him, bro, that's one guy I can say that no matter where I'm at, he gonna speak to me.
Cool. You can say whatever you
Rick
want
Ross
about him.
official DJ. It don't matter.
Actually,
the biggest
MMG,
but the biggest boss.
MMG.
You know what I mean, bro?
I'm telling you, shout out False ID.
False ID. You know, in this industry, a lot of people have opinions about people that they don't know personally.
Right.
They only see them and judge. You don't know what that person goes through. You don't know what's that person's life like at home. For how long False ID has been out here and his talent
It's
is
unreal.
Unreal. Throughout these whole 10 years, he's still one of the best DJs. He's probably one of the most hated on, and he doesn't even care. You know, he just wants to know, could you do the job?
Could you do it?
Yeah. So. All right. So how you do with the young blue though? I'm here.
All right.
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like,
all right. So here,
my wife's like, who's young blue? I'm like,
so it's funny because when
What was that?
all right. So look. So I was laying one day in bed. And me and Shorty was just on the phone, and the concert came out.
Okay.
Like the actual dates of this concert. It was Chris Brown, Lil Baby, and we was like, oh, we're going.
Right.
We looked at Charlotte, we was like, oh,
We're going.
we're going.
Backstage, we go.
No, because prior, Chris Brown and I had played basketball and football for 2 hours before one of his shows here. So I know we got familiarity with each other and whatnot. Like, I stopped him from getting in a situation at Bubble nightclub. That was in the Ep.7. It was cool.
Back in the day.
Genesis. Actually, I'm gonna tell you a funny story that you could Google off TMZ. Chris Brown, Migos fight BET weekend, not in the parking lot, but at the actual show. You'll hear DJ Khaled yelling, "Where is Assad?" DJ Khaled's wife was right next to me, holding Assad, and Chris was about to get ready to fight the Migos. Casanova was there, and if you look at the video, I have Chris in a chokehold. I'm wearing a white shirt.
God,
You can Google it. And I'm holding him, and I'm in his ear like, yo, bro, you got too much to do.
How do you tell somebody like Chris Brown you got too much?
I don't know what the hell was wrong with me at that moment, but I literally was like, hey, bro, you got too much to do.
How tall is Chris Brown?
He's about like 6 foot.
So you like this?
No, I'm standing on a podium.
So you like this?
Yeah, I'm like reaching down on him.
That's crazy.
Like, yo, bro, you got too much to do.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I think this was over the Karuchi thing.
That makes sense.
Karuchi.
So Chris is like he's calming down. Like Chris is, whoever's around him, if you're a good energy, he's a good energy.
Right.
If you're on anger, he's on anger. You know, he's just a product of his environment like everybody else. He's human. So when I got through to him, I'm like, oh shit, he's calm. That's why you see the parking lot video. I feel like he already got over it. He's like, I'm Chris Brown. And sometimes you just need to be reminded. When the tour came,
Humble brag.
100%. 100%. So when the tour came, I'm like calling all these record label reps because you can't call Chris and Lil Baby.
they're not gonna do that.
So I'm calling all these record label reps because I made a promise. Now, mind you, me and my girl are off right now.
So you gotta make it big.
I just was like, I'm a man of my word. I'm still gonna do it. So I may not get her back, but at least I did it. And everybody told me no. I wasn't used to it because the tour wasn't a record label tour. Usually, when the tours happen, the record label has like 10 or 20 allotted tickets.
So it's booked by them.
Yeah, it's booked by Live Nation, like solely. And I'm like, all right, well, fuck, we ain't gotta get no nosebleeds. And then unbeknownst, I saw a Young Blue post that he was on it. So I write him back because I know him for about, at this time, like 3.5 years, 4 years. And I was like, hey, you're coming? He was like, yeah, man, come to the show. I just bought this jet, and sends me the video of the jet. And I'm like this, I'm like, for real? So mind you, I didn't even go to the show at all. Like, I didn't give a damn. I've seen Lil Baby perform 100 times. I've seen Chris perform. You know, even though he's Michael Jackson, I just was like, well, the only way I'm going to get these tickets is if I go. And that's what wound up happening. I wound up going, and I finessed her to call out of work through one of my friends. I was like, hey, tell her you got tickets, and she's a new mom. I said, listen, you deserve the tickets, so I would like for you to go. So I hooked them all up with tickets. Wow. And that's dope. But come to find out, I thought they would leave the tickets at will call. They're holding on because their passes, their backstage passes, Now, mind you, Chris is traveling with his daughter. Little baby's traveling with his son.
Yeah.
So you can't just be on
just be back there.
Yeah.
like security on like, hey, who's these people?
Yeah.
Who they with? Who's escorting them?
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, they gotta come back here with me. So while we're back there, Blue taps me and is like, his manager had briefed me while we were walking. He was like, yo, I don't know if you know or not, but Blue just fired his DJ. And I said,
Wow.
oh. All right, well, what the hell you want me to do? I don't got no laptop turntables here. So.
Get one though.
No, I couldn't. Because it's the PNC traffic.
Oh yeah.
You can't come in or out.
So he fired his DJ while they were at the concert.
No, while they were on tour.
On tour. Oh man.
So
Crazy.
I turned around and Blue is putting on his ear monitors and he's like, yo, could you get out there and hype the crowd? Hype the crowd up.
That's what I do.
Like,
That's what I do. That's what I do.
You like this? I've been waiting. God, the 20,000 people in my seat.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a breeze.
Close it out, bro. Give me a little on this. I want to reenact the energy. And this is what solidify you and your girl getting back together too. Like it's really like
It really was, but I wasn't supposed to. I literally just was gonna be like, here go y'all tickets. I made you a promise I'll talk to you later. I'm still nervous because I get anxiety just like everybody else. So I'm on stage going crazy, like, oh, let's do it. Hey, I'm like, man, turn that into that. Now, mind you, the DJ that's actually DJing the tour, I had beef with him. Maybe like 2 months prior, I was trying to book him for a party. And he was like, yo, leave me the fuck alone, never reached out.
Wow.
So I was like, damn, man, like.
It's like that.
So, yeah, he was like, never reached out. And then I blocked him. I didn't even respond. That's like, no, I get like pages writing me talking about, yo, my bad, man, I didn't know. I was like, no, nigga, I did not know what you're talking about.
How do you not?
It's not like we were on the phone. No, you typed it.
Yeah.
Typed it. So I'm like,
you thought about it.
you thought what you typed to me.
We were on the phone. You thought it, then you typed it.
Yeah, 100%. Mind you, he didn't get booked that night, but So I was like this. I was like, oh, that's the DJ. Oh, fuck.
I gotta rock out though.
No, I gotta rock out. So you gotta follow my lead. We gotta work together and we gotta figure it out and we'll leave that situation alone. So I got the crowd going up. I started breaking the sweat. I'm sweating because you on stage.
Yeah.
Lights
Hey,
on.
what you say to him?
I ain't even say shit. I mean, you know who I am. You know who I'm here. So Blue's manager comes over and taps me and is like, Blue set got pushed back 30 minutes. You can keep going or you can come off. And I was like, and I'm already sweating. I'm I'm sweating. I gotta go get the girls from the back. They calling me and I know at this point now she knows it's from me, so I gotta go get them. And we go get them and come back. And Blue's manager walks with me because he has the escort badge. And he's like this, hey, could you DJ Blue set? Well, I had DJ'd for Diggy Simmons. I had DJ'd for Roscoe Dash. I had DJ'd for Casanova. I had DJ'd for the baby. I was like, yeah, it's easy. Yeah, just let me know his cue points. What song order we can do it. So we get back there, and I'm like, but I don't have no stuff. They were like, that DJ, you can use his tonight. I said, do you know DJs don't like people touch their shit?
Oh, yeah, for real.
They have everything queued up different.
So he's like, they asked me, he was like, go ahead. So, but the light and sound guy, Keatlin, was like this. Hey, I already got everything. We don't need him. So the manager and the light and sound guy went back and forth. And the light and sound guy said, you know what? Let's let Blue make an executive decision. So we all three walk over there, and I got the girls with me now. So now it's like, holy shit, they may actually do this. And they looked at Blue, and Blue was like, let Chewy do it. Does he got everything? I was like, yeah, I got everything. He's like, let him do it. And I looked at
preparation meets
opportunity. I asked him, I said, yo, what are your cue points? When do you want me to stop records? He said, when I do this, stop. When I say, let's go DJ, play their songs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's simple. That's
And
simple.
I was like, all right, do you mind me talking in between songs with you or X,
You know how that be.
He was like,
Do your thing.
do your thing. If you feel it, you feel it. But I'm so used to hosting clubs.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
Like, if a certain song, I can only describe it as freedom music, but when a song, and you know more than anyone, but certain songs, they have like a gap in between. So imagine like, and those gaps is when I can talk. Hey, turn up. Whoa. So I'm like this. I'm like, oh, my voice sounds good today too.
He amped on this.
Your voice definitely.
So Blue gets on stage and he has like this timer countdown with an opening video, and I'm not used to this shit. I'm just used to the songs. So I'm like, all right, y'all ready for Young Blue? And I'm looking at the sound man because he's like, yo, we gotta be on sync.
Right.
So I didn't have my contacts in. So I can see. And the sad part is the side stage is dark.
Yeah.
So it don't make it any better. So he's looking at me doing this. And I can't see.
And you're like,
so I'm like, I hope this video go up. And I'm like, looking at him, not looking at the whole crowd. So the whole crowd got their lights up and whatnot. And we wind up killing it.
Wow.
To the point where he comes off.
yo.
And mind you, I got my ex with me at the time. My ex, my girl, my shorty, whatever.
Yeah.
And she's looking like,
Yeah.
You just killed it. Let's get back together.
It was like that. She was like, nah, I still don't want to be with you. She was like, I still don't want to be with you. She's like, okay. I'm like, shit. So Blue is looking at me like this, like, hey man, you want to finish out the rest of the tour with me?
Absolutely.
I said, of course. He said this. Well, the private jet is here. We got to fly to California tonight. And in front of my eyes, everything. I'm like,
Give me 45 minutes.
yeah, that's right. You know what I'm talking about? You want to know the truth, though? Yeah. I didn't fucking go.
Oh, man.
You gotta go.
Because I had to do a party with Little Baby that night.
Okay.
The humble brag.
That's right. He had flew to LA to film a music video with Nicki Minaj.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I saw you post that. Yeah.
So I wound up flying to West Palm like 2 days later.
If you had to go cold, you could have been on a PJ.
I was on a PJ 2 days later. I was on a PJ 2 days later, so I was like,
That's what's
look,
up.
there are messages right there.
Wow, look at the jet.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
G5.
Let's go.
They beat
Look,
G6.
August 9th.
Holla at me, bro.
We're going to need some screenshots.
I gotta
man.
Straight up.
We'll put that up on there, man.
I gotta hop on this jet and go straight to the show.
Scroll up. Scroll up. Scroll up.
That's it.
No, the other way.
Over.
PJ.
That jet pretty. We'll put it on her so y'all can see it.
Yeah, you got to sit there.
And as long as he let us do it.
He got a newer jet now.
All right, hey.
Yeah. Hey, this is crazy right here. But hey, if he let us put up there, we're gonna show y'all so y'all can see what we look like.
Let me take this phone for you trying to get on the flight.
Nah, but hey, listen, it's been, this has been real, bro. It's been real,
This is a classic.
super impressive. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't, cause Keith's like, man, we're gonna be Chewy all night. I knew who you were, like from the thing, but I didn't know like who you were, right? So this is like
First time.
cool.
I never really talk publicly.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not big on exposing my own problems because I'm scared of it being.
But we got to learn about your life and your
Yeah,
journey,
that's dope.
your journey, which I think is amazing.
And I think
And
a
the
lot-
great taste of wine.
Yeah.
Give them a wine sponsor today.
Hey, we're trying to tell y'all. So
Shout
for
out
those
to
of you who just like I say know Chewy from the radios, the clubs, the hosting, the hanging out with celebrities, man, you really got to tap into what it took to get there. And I think that's a big part of life and growing in life and just kind of building that network. So hey, shout out to
And I just want to shout out one more person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when I left radio for my mental detox and like a sabbatical type of thing, a gentleman by the name of Lou L.V. Lou L.G.
Shout out to Lil
He
LV.
believed
Shout out
in
to
me.
you.
He's the one that gave me the opportunity at Stats when everybody counted me out. And Stats kind of like
Took
gave
off
me the
Sunday
platform.
night.
Yeah,
5-year anniversary.
Yeah. So, Lou believed in me, and it's like having a brother. I won't say, like he said yesterday, he said, I don't want to call you my little brother because we're the same. So, shout out to my brother Lou.
Shout out to Lou. Shout out to Lou.
I'll say this real quick, man. You got some loyal fans here.
For real.
No, it's not fans, it's family.
Family, yeah. And that's my next one. You got loyal fans, you got loyal brothers. Yeah. Right, you got friends here, man, and it's a lifetime. It's eternity, man. So,
now I'll come back. We still
we definitely.
Next time I come back, we're gonna start talking about like other things going on.
Yeah. This the intro. The intro.
You never know. We may come link with you. I mean, we trying to
Much love.
I'm pretty sure we're going to a Panthers game.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, man. Hey,
We got a NASCAR play.
Shout out
too.
to all the followers, subscribers, man. Y'all keep tuning in, man. We 7 episodes in.
Yeah.
Subscribe, and support these brothers.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
And make sure you follow Chewy too. Hey, keep it
I
going.
am Chewy5 on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll post it
Much
right
love.
here.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, true. Before we end out, what's the score, man?
What's the score on the wine, bro? What's the score?
Hey,
From 1 to 10. 1 to 10. 1 to 10.
What you got?
And my name is I am Chewy5. I need 2 and I'm a 10.
That's it. Y'all heard it from the man.
That's a big one.
It's a big one. Hey, y'all
Actually,
gonna
gotta
copy.
get some more for the road.
Yeah, I got it. Hey, we out. Much love.
Peace.
Hey, peace.
Hey, shout out.
Till next time.
Next
Yes,
time.
sir.
Hey, my God, that was hard.
That's a classic one, man.
That's a classic one.